This year, St. Teresa's College, Quezon City, honors 6 women of steadfast faith, selfless service, and visionary spirit. Their exemplary lives witnessing to gospel values make them channels for social justice, solidarity, and peace. They are truly worthy of recognition and emulation. With great pride, we present the 2023 Teresa's Light Awardees. Maria Lourdes Tanco de Vera, or Marilee, is a product of 2 STC campuses, Baguio and Quezon City. She graduated from Ateneo de Manila University with a degree in AB Economics and took her master's in business management at Asian Institute of Management. She joined the Executive Development Program at the Research Institute for Management Science at Netherlands, graduating with distinction. Marilee joined the banking industry, occupying executive positions until she became the Senior Vice President of the BDO Trust and Investments Group of the BDO Unibank Incorporated, a position which she held for 28 years till her retirement in 2017. All through these years, Marilee was guided by the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:14-30. This parable teaches us that God has entrusted us with talents that we should use to make life better, not only for ourselves, but more so for others. Marilee was conscious of the fact that only the affluent can avail of investment products from banks. Following the teaching of the parable of the talents, she created investment products such as the Personal Equity and Retirement Account, which is a voluntary retirement account meant to supplement retirement benefits from SSS and GSIS. The easy investment plan that encouraged the ordinary Filipinos to make saving a habit. With as little as 1,000 pesos per month, they could save and invest in money and capital markets. Marilee worked hard to build the system that would automate the transfer of funds from savings to investment accounts and provide timely and relevant reports to clients. These products have benefited many clients from the middle and low-income groups. A house helper used the fruits of her investment to put up a small sari-sari store in the province. A driver was able to repair his house that was damaged by Typhoon Odette. A bank employee enjoyed a family vacation in Singapore. A young couple saved up for their wedding through EIP. Personally, Marilee also used the savings from her investment to finance her niece's medical education. Marilee has been recognized by her peers for her work. Today, investors in these products make up over a fifth of the bank's depositors. These products have also helped increase long-term capital stocks in the Philippine capital market. Ms. Maria Lourdes Tanco de Vera is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Financial Inclusion. Patricia Ramos Halagüeña, Trixie, was born to fly, not just literally as a flight attendant of our flag carrier, but to rise above the obstacles she encountered in life. A daughter of an aviator who was a World War II veteran and one of the first Filipino airline pilots, she took pride in joining the aviation industry as a flight attendant and later as a flight purser. Her career spanned over 37 years and 4 continents. Much as she enjoyed her work and the perks that came with it, her professionalism opened her eyes to the realities of gender inequality in the workplace. There was the issue of seniority years being lost whenever a flight attendant went on maternity leave. This put the women to a disadvantage when promotion was at stake. Trixie also realized that the mandatory retirement age for women was 55, while the males retired at age 60. She spearheaded the campaign for gender equality with the perseverance and passion of a true Teresian. Discouraged by male chauvinism and the discriminatory mindset of many, she was also defiant. After almost a decade, they won the case and a new collective bargaining agreement was enforced. To this day, when this case is read by law students, its title starts with Patricia Halagueña et al. As an animal welfare rights advocate and environmentalist, she opted to be a vegan for the past 30 years. Trixie is also a fitness enthusiast and encouraged other flight and cabin crew to join marathons during a long layover. Defying age, Trixie was recognized as the oldest Filipina to finish the New York City Marathon in 2009. She has accumulated a number of medals and is prepared for a new challenge in the world of multi-sports. Trixie continues to fight against the many injustices in Philippine society by joining indignation rallies against extrajudicial killings and China's incursion into Philippine jurisdiction. She also joined rallies in support of her favored presidential candidate in the 2022 Philippine election. To her daughter lawyer, Trixie is a Renaissance woman, and her life is a testament to that. Patricia Ramos Halagueña is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Justice. Maria Socorro Laya Smith, or Saki, of High School Batch 73, was an active member of the Student Catholic Action. She joined SCA's weekend activities, visiting the National Orthopedic Center, the Home for the Aged, and the slum areas in Tondo. At the height of the mass unrest in the early 70s, Saki joined one of the rallies without securing her parents' permission. Her father, who was a military doctor and a Marcos supporter, grounded her for 2 weeks. The family council had to intervene so she could go back to school. When martial law was proclaimed, she discreetly supported her friends who joined mass protests by sharing her allowance or finding a place for them to stay overnight. While in college taking up BS Psychology in UST, Saki remained an activist. Later, she went underground and became part of the support committee for the movement. She was a modern-day tandangsora, traveling incognito from Metro Manila to Central Luzon and the Sierra Madres, providing support to her fellow revolutionaries, ministering to the sick and injured comrades and villagers, and feeding the hungry. She married an NPA commander, a masang magsasaka, who shared her principles and beliefs. The death of her husband in the hands of the military was a turning point in her life. The welfare of her 2 young children also concerned her. The movement experienced internal struggles, so she decided that this was the right time to reunite with her family, who had then migrated to the United States. In the United States, her first job was at Jersey Child Development Center's Project Head Start, a government preschool program for low-income families. She practiced Reiki and pranic healing, which she learned from the ICM nuns. She then studied nursing and chose to be a community nurse despite the low pay, so she could attend to the medical needs of the poor residents of public housing facilities. When the COVID pandemic broke out, Saki was one of the first to contract it. At that time, when no medicines were known and available to treat COVID cases, she practiced the healing techniques she learned early on and survived. Today, Saki continues to fight against racism and human trafficking, particularly against the mail-order bride industry in the U.S. She also supports upholding the rights of the LGBTQ++. She is lucky to have the full support of her family today. Socorro Laya Smith is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Justice and Peace. Maria Linda Enriquez Cuevedo of High School Batch 73 exhibited the traits of perseverance, benevolence, and compassion in all stages of her life. After finishing her pre-medical education, she applied for a USA FFE scholarship to enable her parents to send her other siblings to college. As an obstetrician and gynecologist, She never wavered in providing compassionate and quality healthcare to mothers and their unborn children. She consistently exhibited the highest level of professionalism in dealing with patients, colleagues, and staff. She attended to her duties as a consultant in not just one but several hospitals, including the Makati Medical Center, where she was the training officer of its fellowship program for ultrasound. A pioneering and well-respected trainer in the OB/GYN, sonology, and maternal fetal medicine, Dr. Quevedo has mentored many residents who are now competent subspecialists. She does not only attend to her students' academic needs. A medical student was so overwhelmed with his problems that he attempted suicide. Dr. Quevedo motivated him to continue his studies and financed his medical education till graduation. That student is now a second-year radiology resident. Her compassion extends to her classmates from St. Teresa's College, QC, and UP. She never hesitates to offer help for their various medical concerns. Dr. Quevedo has a deep faith in God and in Mother Mary. She consistently performed her medical duties even when she had to nurture her husband back to good health after he suffered a stroke. A year later, in 2005, she underwent surgery and chemotherapy for ovarian and endometrial cancer. When she recovered, she transformed into a true steward of faith and an anchor of support for those who were similarly challenged. She initiated fellowship and support meetings, outreach programs, and block rosaries with fellow cancer survivors. She donated generously to the Philippine General Hospital Cancer Institute and helped save many lives by providing much-needed chemotherapy drugs and other medications. Despite all her achievements, she has remained humble, always desirous of pleasing the Lord and becoming more like Him every day. Her children have grown to be successful young men, also devoted to serving the Lord and their fellow men. She wants nothing more but to continue to be of service to the Lord and to others for the rest of her life. Dr. Maria Linda Enriquez Quevedo is our Teresa's Light Awardee for Parish and Community Service. Maria Simona Mercado Argao, or Monette, from High School Batch 73, came from a big family of 11 children. Her parents and grandparents instilled in them the value of hard work. Summers were spent learning the ropes in the family insurance company. At age 11, Monette felt God's calling to be a doctor and a missionary. She studied medicine at the UP PGH. She also started a family and joined her husband in the United States. In 2002, when she was invited to join the Medical Missionaries of Divine Mercy, MMDM, she knew that her mission had begun. The first medical mission that she joined served over 1,000 people in the village of Tamasopo, Mexico. The healing did not only benefit the patients, but also the volunteers. While healing her patients, Monette felt the spirit of the Divine Mercy coursing through her mind and body. She claims to have been healed of her Barrett's esophagus, a condition that claimed the life of her paternal grandfather and also afflicted her father. Joining the MMDM was the fulfillment of her calling to heal mind, body, and spirit. Her journey of faith with the MMDM brought her to Mexico yearly, then to Texas, on to Costa Rica, which abound with Aborigines, homeless men and women, and migrants who were escaping the abuses of notorious regimes. In 2016, she made the decision to leave her lucrative family medicine practice to become a full-time volunteer of the group. In 2017, Monette and her husband joined the UPMASA's medical mission in Vigan, Ilocos Sur. In the summer of the same year, together with her son and grandsons and STC batchmates, they served at the White Cross Orphanage, attending to about 70 children who were abandoned. Medical missions to Sasmuan and Taal soon followed. In the midst of the COVID pandemic that limited travel, her US-based parish and the MMDM sent boxes of food, medicine, clothing, and other items to the Philippines. Monette and her husband Roberto are in awe of being instruments in fulfilling the MMDM mission of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Dr. Simona Mercado Argao is our Teresa Slide Awardee for Parish Community Service. Aurora Malyari de los Reyes, or Web, is a sports heroine in women's basketball. She introduced the sports in STCQC campus, so after her batch came a long line of women basketballs who all played in the WNCAA. As a college student at the University of Santo Tomas, Webb's love for women's basketball spread like wildfire in the campus. Women basketball teams were organized in the different colleges, defying the Dominican priests who declared that basketball is only for men. Inter-college intramurals expanded into annual inter-university competitions. Armed with a degree in communication arts, Webb entered the world of sports broadcasting. She rose from the ranks, from being a production assistant to being a station manager of DZSR, the first sports radio of the nation. She was part of the coverage team for the 1981, 1985, and 1991 Southeast Asian Games, as well as the 1988 Seoul Olympics. Webb is the first and pioneer lady broadcaster of the annual Palarong Pambansa. Webb is a 9-time awardee of the Henry Ford Journalism Award for Auto Review. She was recognized as a pioneering woman in sports broadcast journalism by the Philippine Sports Commission and National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women. She was the recipient of the NUFFIC International Scholarship on the course on radio production at the Netherlands. As a mother of 3 Teresians, Webb was active in the Family Council. She spearheaded the various sports activities, actively participated in the yearly parents' assemblies, socio-civic projects, and fundraising activities. Webb was not concerned with titles nor positions, but made herself always available when needed. Today, her skills and experience in broadcasting benefit the Ministry of Lectors and Commentators of the National Shrine of Our Lady of Lourdes. She is also the coordinator of its Social Communications Ministry. All the events of the National Shrine are shared online to brothers and sisters here and abroad. She is an active leader of the ACTS prayer community and is a longtime lector of the Chapel of the Eucharistic Lord in Mega Mall. For us Teresians, it is Webb's voice that keeps the alumnae transfixed in solemn prayer as they recite the rosary every night. She is a prayerful mother and wife who has placed God at the center of her family and tirelessly works so that other families may do the same. It is this mission of evangelization that inspires her to continue to do what she does to this day. Aurora Malyari de los Reyes is our Teresa Slide Awardee for Parish Community Development. In marking the 50th anniversary of the proclamation of Saint Teresa of Avila as the first woman doctor of the Church, Pope Francis said that the flame that Jesus lit in Teresa continues to shine in this world, which is always in need of courageous witnesses, capable of breaking down any wall, whether physical, existential, or cultural. We have just met 6 STCQC alumnae who crossed the boundaries that had been set for them by society or even their own physical limitations, in their desire to reflect God's light and love into the lives of the people around them, especially those less fortunate than them.